At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. Welcome, everybody, to Dave Cooper Live, where we help you discover the best in construction innovation. You get to meet the people, explore their products, and learn the processes that are revolutionizing how we build it better. From 3D printing, robots that build houses, to prefabricated offsite construction in all its forms. And today, we're discussing 3D printed construction with Ross McGuire, co-founder of Reserve Printed Homes, who is making a stop here from their Tiny Home Roadshow. What's the catch, you may ask? Well, their ADUs and granny flats can be built in a week, installed in a day, and prices start as low as $20,000 US, and each home, that's right, each home repurposes up to 150,000 plastic water bottles. Can it be? Has this company actually found the way to turn plastic waste into safe, code-compliant shelters? Well, you're going to have to stick around to find out, because first, we're going to have a word from our sponsors. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Are you looking to start a factory, optimize your existing factory, streamline your production, or take your team to the next level? Whatever your needs are, Forward has a solution for you. Reach out to Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. Howick Ltd. has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and producing innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for offsite modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Go to their website, howickltd.com. Brought to you by Greatech, one of the largest Autodesk partners globally and software developer of the PowerPack Advanced Design, Advanced Steel, and the StruxSoft product line. The complete solution to automate wood and light gauge steel framing, design, and documentation all the way out to CNC output. Model, design, and manufacture with StruxSoft. Learn more at StruxSoftSolutions.com. All right. Again, thank you to all of our supporting members and sponsors. We cannot continue to bring you all these innovative conversations without them. All right, let's hop into it. Let's bring Ross McGuire onto the show. Ross, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Dave. How about you?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I'm always amazing when I can talk about how plastic can rebuild our future.
Doesn't happen very often, does it? But I mean, it gets me going as well.
Yeah. I love it. So where's the accent from? I have to ask you.
I was born in East London, UK, and grew up most of my adult life in the outskirts of London, East London. My parents are still there, but now reside in Hawthorne, California. So my accent could be an amalgamation of all different dialects I've picked up along the way.
Well, it works for the show. Thank you very much for the cool accent. All right, listen, Ross, before we get into Azure and the 3D printed construction that you guys are doing, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we will have your mother on the phone. And my guess, if she's from England, she'll probably spill the beans on you. But right. You only have 2 minutes to do it. The floor is yours.
She'll spill the tea. Yeah, well, as I mentioned, from UK, from East London is where I was born. And in terms of construction, I mean, I spent my summers and my my school holidays working on building sites from laboring to to working as a site supervisor. So it's always been an interest of mine. I think my family is from a background of more financial. So my dad's like a financial advisor. My brother, when I was growing up, was 4 years ahead of me, and he was going down like an accountancy route. I spent one summer actually working in an accountant's firm just to kind of see if that was the way that I wanted to go. I had a love for math, so I knew that that was something that I wanted to have. But I love to be outdoors as well. I love my sports. I love my football, soccer, golf, all things that I enjoyed as I was growing up. So I wanted to be outside, and working in that accountancy firm for a summer certainly told me that that wasn't the way that I wanted to go with my career. So as I was looking into things to go into, I think it was my dad originally that maybe guided me towards more like, as we have it back home, quantity surveying, more like the financial side of construction. Right. And I went to one university, which I ended up going to, University of Nottingham, which had a civil engineering course, which was accredited by the Institute of Quantity Surveyors back in the UK. And it was that visit that really like sold engineering to me. I had like obviously an interest in applied maths and physics and mechanical stuff through school, but like at the age of, what was I, like 16, 17, arriving at a university that like we were walking through the labs that they were working in and the things they were working on, and it was just like, yeah, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing. So that was kind of like the kickoff for me to start heading down like the engineering construction route. Right. And again, it's that wanting to be at the sharp end of everything construction that's always been in my blood. So wasn't really a design guy wanting to be behind the desk and behind the computer too often, designing roads, bridges, whatever was kind of the route for an engineering degree, and wanted to be more in construction. So I moved from that into one of the biggest GCs in the UK at the time, and worked purely on kind of construction projects from then. So I had some awesome experience in the first couple of years straight out of university. Worked on NATO headquarters just outside of London, working in building effectively the new headquarters building. Then did a couple of jobs working in the actual bunker, which was very very surreal and awesome for a guy just straight out of university. And at that point, 2 years in, I decided that I was old enough and experienced enough to start my own company. So I started running projects in and around London, residential, commercial, always in construction. Fast forward to 8 years of running my own company is when I met my now wife, who's American, and that's what brought me out to the States. And shortly after that, I met my business partner at Azure. Now I have 2 young daughters, so yeah, roots are kind of pretty firmly laid here in California now. But that was I left a lot out, but I mean that was a pretty high level summary of what got me to where I am today.
So it's great that, at an early age you said, yeah, I don't want to do accounting. So which probably tells me somebody else in the business does the accounting stuff for you. Would be my first guess. But what is the bunker? Tell me. I don't think I know what the bunker is. That the underground, like, hey, the world's going to hell. This is where we
it's
all
another like it's the NATO base where within that bunker, lots of kind of high security stuff goes on. I mean, I was told that that's where one of the buttons is, but
right.
I mean, one thing I can say, there's like there's EMP shielded rooms, buildings down there, and I had to one of the jobs I had to do was put a new doorway through a EMP shielded room that had like 1.5 meters thick of concrete. So
I'm sure that
I had to maintain the shield whilst creating a new doorway. So yeah, for a 22-year-old or whatever I was, that was pretty exciting stuff.
Well, what you're doing now is exciting as well, right? I'm just going to flash it up here. Your website said makers of future-focused modular living spaces, right? So when we talk about future-focused modular living spaces, in particular, what Azure is doing is 3D printed housing. So here you are, you're cutting holes in bunkers and in highly secure areas. At what point did you have this idea that, you know what, we're going to start a company? We're not only going to 3D print, buildings and construction, but we're also going to do 3D construction out of recycled materials. Walk me through how many beers you may have had before you said, I can do this. I'm interested. Tell me, how did the idea come up?
I think it was years. Yeah, it wasn't just one drink. I think it was years of drinks that eventually created the idea. I think from an early age, I guess I'm a reasonably impatient person when it comes to those sorts of things as well. So any projects that I'd done for clients growing up, I mean, I was like, don't know if anything was not moving as smoothly or as fast as it should do, then like there was no one that was more like frustrated by it than I was. And I think with construction as a whole, like, I mean, I get it. We've kind of had these tried and trusted methods and technologies for a lot of time, and it's, in my perspective, it's kind of just been all compounded on like one after the other. The idea for our printed homes was to kind of not ignore all of that history and ignore all of that work that's gone in the past, but just to try and take it all and simplify it back into kind of a much more simple process that achieves the same thing, but like in a much shorter and more efficient time scale. So that, I mean, we all know that there's a huge high housing crisis, not just here in the States, but globally. And clearly the population of the planet isn't slowing down. So we need to find a way that we're going to be able to achieve faster and more efficient practices in building. And the fact that we're becoming less reliant on skilled labor and everything else that contributes to the speed and quality of our housing delivery, I saw that we need to kind of move with the times. People are less interested, more interested in gaming, like the kids of like new generations, more interested in the technical side of like of life than they are in necessarily the practical and like apprenticeship side of learning a trade and going through construction in that way. So it was definitely a part of that as well. Because I mean, like with our work, we have simulations, slicing, like all of the aspects that go into 3D printing are all things that are, and I know just from talking to like people that are interested in joining our team, that like it's something that's more suited to the younger generations that are coming through as well. So in my being future focused, from my perspective, it's kind of looking at future generations and creating something that is going to take advantage of their skills and take advantage of their expertise, rather than trying to kind of stick with something that has been to a certain degree shelved in terms of, I mean, when I was growing up, it was very popular. A lot of my friends growing up would go into trades and get apprenticeships and learn from kind of ground up, and then kind of get an education on the side. But certainly it's a different world now.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And what you're doing is for sure something that the younger generation of tradespeople are going to be interested in, right? Because it's leading edge technology. It's using automation and research. It's sustainable. Let's get into it. So, with the Azure printed homes, how do you envision its role in the future of sustainable construction? Obviously, you're saving the planet or saving the plastic, but walk us through, the sustainability side of this and why that was important as you developed this. And then let's get into what is the unique technologies and how you came about with the product.
Yeah, I mean, the sustainability side of it is key. I don't know if it necessarily coincided with. I mean, I've always been environmentally conscious. I love nature, and I love the programs that my compatriot David Attenborough has done, like Blue Planet and Planet Earth and all the rest of it. Like I find those kind of inspiring and amazing to watch. But I don't know whether the timing of, say, having my first daughter was a catalyst as well, but just not just having a love for nature, but just being like, there's if we're going to create something entirely new and efficient, then let's make sure that we're setting it up in a way that it's future focused from a material composition standpoint as well. So right. the plan straight away was to start utilizing what would otherwise be waste heading towards landfill or flowing in our ocean, and plastic is something that we kind of don't know. I think we're all guilty of ignoring. Like we all throw it into our recycling trash and assume that we're doing good. But I mean, ultimately, I don't know if you're aware, but or our viewers are aware, but only 6% of what we send to be recycled actually gets recycled. So right. here in the States, there's about 40 million tons of plastic that is sent to as a waste each year. So only 2 million tons gets reused. The other 38 still just goes into landfill, which clearly isn't sustainable. So finding another purpose and repurposing that 38 million tons that we're producing and wasting each year was a huge driving force for our material composition. So
do you have to buy that composition? Do you have to buy the plastic, or is the landfill glad to give it to you?
There is a cost involved. We're hoping and planning for that cost to come down as we move forward. But there is obviously, it's not as if we just kind of take the trash and then just put it straight into our printers. There's processes that happen in between, so that's where a large proportion of the cost is involved. What was the second half of your question? Because I think I spent too long on the first half.
Yeah. No. I think we're good on the question itself. Why don't we hop in? You have a video here. Let's show what it is you guys are building.
Sure.
You're gonna walk us through one of your models. Why don't we do that? And then I want to get to your website and show the configurator as well. And then let's get into, after that, what's truly happening out there, where you're manufacturing, who you're building, for all the fun stuff.
Yeah, so here you go. Yeah, so this is only a couple of weeks ago, actually, where this is our X180 unit. So we have units that go out on wheels. So the X series are the ones that we class as our tiny homes that are mobile on wheels. So this one is 180 square feet, has a small kitchen, bathroom, living space. And this is just in our factory in Gardena, Southern California. So yeah, we cram a lot into a small space, and the structure itself is entirely 3D printed. So just after this clip, we'll see the printers in action. So we print the floor, the roof, and the walls all in one go, and each module's printed in just 24 hours. So there's that one being completed. This is the printers running here. So we're printing 2 modules at the same time with 2 different systems here. As soon as it's printed, we then wire and insulate on the inside, and then we use our prefab panels to close the 2 remaining openings. So if it's six-sided cube, we print 4 and panelize the other 2. That allows us a bit more customization for those 2 remaining walls. This one's actually out on the road right now. I'm going to join it tomorrow. My business partner's there right now, but it's been in Texas. So it left us, went to a show in Texas. Now it's on its way to Orlando, Florida, and that's where I'll be meeting it tomorrow. And then it goes on a schedule after that, goes to Nashville, and then to Washington, D.C. for the Innovation Showcase on the Mall in D.C. So yeah, this is the kind of walkthrough in the completion. But this is a 180 We have a 270, which is a 1-bedroom, and a 360, which is a 2-bedroom. And they all are wheel-based tiny homes.
So let me ask you. I mean, I saw a regular dually truck was, and I'm going to pause it right here. Was carrying or pulling it. The plastic material or the composite that you're making from the plastic, is it a lot lighter than concrete? I'm assuming it is, because I wouldn't.
Hell of a lot lighter than hell of a lighter than concrete. I mean, each one of our units, so that 180 unit weighs about 12,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So considerably lighter than concrete. I mean, a lot of to do with the fact that, I mean, I would compare. I know the comparisons are easy, but because 3D printing is generally with concrete, that's kind of a like for like comparison. But I mean, our actual structures are probably more comparable to, say, a wood framed home. So we're printing a geometry that has like an inner skin, an outer skin, and then we insulate everything in between, spray foam insulate. So it means that the overall composition is very light, but our print material is like twice as strong as say a regular plywood. So we use plywood for a wood framed house. Then we've got we've effectively got 2 layers inside and outside of twice the strength of plywood. So so yeah, it means that our overall structures are a lot lighter than anything that could be printed from concrete or other materials.
So I have a question on the printing side of this. I'm going to put this back to the stage here. Let me just pause it. So when we look at, what we have here on the printing structure, that's the hollow core you're talking about. What is the thickness of the of these walls? And it looks like you're doing floor, walls, and ceiling.
Yeah. So we do. We call it a shell. So like we create the shell that just has the 2 open sides once we flip it.
Right.
But the 2 beads that we lay are around 15 millimeters thick, and then we leave a void of like 6 inches. But it kind of depends on where it's going, because that's more climate based. If we're heading to California and we need to have R30 on the roof, then we'll create a 6-inch void that will be filled with closed and open cell spray foam. If it needs to go to an area that needs R45, R50, then we just create a larger space in between the 2 beads so that there's more space for insulation.
So these are printed laying on its side, and then you pull it up, and then the front and back side is where you put the doors, windows, and traditional framing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. We use light gauge steel frame panels.
Yep.
That we assemble ourselves, and then they just tilt up into the openings once the unit's been wired and insulated.
And what about code and like the exterior sheathing side of this? Because you're going to hot climates, cold. Can it go to any climate? Hot, cold, doesn't matter. And does it expand and contract, or is it pretty stable?
It's pretty stable. I mean, we've gone through accelerated weathering testing where it goes up to like 150 degrees Fahrenheit down to -30, soaked in water and repeated over like a 2,000 hour period, and it's performed very well there. We have units out in the desert. We have units in Northern California. So the benefit of California is that we get a wide difference in temperatures and environments. So we've had the benefit of seeing our units perform in a multitude of different conditions. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they're naturally weather resistant and we don't have to deal with rot or termites or those sorts of things for our structure, then it's obviously it brings a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I would imagine it does. So it's lightweight, it's movable, and then how does it set? Does it sit on a traditional foundation? Does it sit on piers? Does it have to be on like wood, screw piles? What do you normally put these on?
We've done a mixture. Generally, we recommend having like a stem wall raised foundation.
Yeah.
So for a number of reasons, I mean, we've done a lot of modular installations in the past where sometimes you'll have precast concrete or you'll cast in situ concrete foundations with your surfaces coming through, and sometimes if the two don't match up perfectly, then you got a problem, and you're either sending the module away and moving your utilities around. So
Right.
the benefit for us is that we have everything, all the stacks and all of the utilities poking through the base of our print before it's delivered, and then the final connections can be made within that crawl space.
Right.
For the tiny homes, they go on a chassis and a steel chassis to start with, so those tend to just have a standard like pile and tie down connection to the base once they're in their kind of final position, unless they want to be moved again. So yeah, mixture of different ways.
And you guys, and I'm just going to throw it out there for those listening, you guys are in a fundraising round, and we're going to put that ticker on the stream here as we talk. So if you see something pop up along the bottom, I just want to throw that out there. So with this product, I pulled up your website here. Welcome to the next dimension of living. Now, what's really cool about your site is you have a configurator on here. So as a homeowner, I'm in Pittsburgh. I want one of your houses. How do I use this so I can find something that works for me and gives me a price? And then how accurate is it?
Well, it's super easy, Customer Dave. So you just scroll down on the website here.
Yeah.
And we have right here, let's introduce you to our products. So we have these 6 products right now that you can configure on the website. So you can select where it says buy now against this menu of choices that we have for our units.
The X180 is what I need for my new studio.
Okay, very nice. Good choice. We've got the X180 that pops up then here in our configurator. So we have these icons down the left-hand side are the ones that kind of guide you through the different options. So you can click on each of them, gives you the options to change your interior, your interior finishes, your exterior finishes. You can pick the wall, ceiling, floor finishes, kitchen, cabinet, and countertop. Different options there.
Wow.
The same for the bathroom. You can pick the plumbing fixture options, the tile options. So yeah, there's a fairly wide range. I mean, as we already know from putting it into our system, that there's a huge number of permutations that you can do through each of these units, but at the same time, it allows us to still be efficient in our production, that we're kind of providing some options, but obviously keeping it narrow enough so that we can be efficient in our production and kind of prove out the efficiency of this whole process.
Oh, got it. And then at the top, I can go through all your different models and just play around with any one that I want.
And then the right-hand side there, it gives you kind of the vital statistics for each one, size and uses. And then at the bottom right is the live kind of price updating as you go through. So you can see what your price is before you're kind of ready to commit. You hit buy now, and then and we get your information and we're away. So
and where are you currently shipping these to now?
All over. I mean, a lot of our customers so far have been California based, but we have a number outside of California that we're delivering to now as well. And as I say, we've got our units on the road, so people in Texas have seen it and placed orders. People in Orlando, no doubt, are going to come to it and place orders too. And then, now you have the cart pulled up. You can see that there's options to add solar. You can add solar battery, so you can make the unit entirely off grid if you choose to. You can add a HVAC system. So we try and capture as much as we can up front in this stage, and then once we've got your order, then it means that we can kind of send it to the printer and get rolling. So it's designed to make the whole home buying as efficient as we can make it as well. More of a Amazon experience than what traditional home built buying can be.
Right. So let me ask you this, do you have any collaborators or anybody that you're working with right now? Any strategic partners that you have?
I mean, we have a number of partners that we work with. Not many that we can necessarily disclose publicly at the moment, but hopefully in the future. But one that I can talk about is a collaboration that we have with the state of Colorado. So we applied at the end of last year for some funding where Colorado was providing an incentive to bring. If it sounded like it was written for us because it was offsite modular 3D printed home manufacturers. So we applied and we were successful. So we're going to be opening up our second facility in Colorado, hopefully later this year, beginning of next year. And that'll be same size as what we have right now. So 3 printers capable of producing between 20 and 25 million of revenue. So it's kind of the next stage of our growth. We hopefully we plan to hit the States with 1 in each time zone. So Colorado's our next one, and then we'll be working our way east. Obviously, the plan, and from the sustainable side of things, we want to be able to have sites and factories locally to where we're delivering, rather than having kind of one mega factory in one location in the States and then shipping all over the place. We're trying to set up more locally. And I mean, the benefit of what we have is that it is very quick and easy to set up as well. So I mean, we've talked with organizations like FEMA after the fires in Hawaii and issues like that, where our suggestion is that taking a system that can be set up in 2-3 weeks and be printing in that period of time, like each of our systems can be shipped in just 2 containers, and we can, especially for somewhere like Hawaii where it's very isolated, and just shipping individual housing modules is a lot more expensive than necessarily making them in situ. So that's kind of the vision for how we grow this.
What is the ceiling heights inside of these? Floor to ceiling?
We're just over 9 feet. So the overall height of the unit is about 10.5, and we, so as I mentioned, have 6 inches for the roof and 6 for the floor.
Yeah. Well, we just had Videra Building Systems on, Nathan Peterson, who also was a winner of that Colorado award. If you didn't know, which I'm sure you already do, I think it was last Friday, Colorado just opened up new laws that'll take place, and correct me if I'm wrong, June 2025. Everybody has to be kind of toeing the line for the new laws for ADUs and how they can be implemented throughout the state. Is that accurate in saying?
Yeah. As far as I'm aware as well. I mean, my business partner has been keeping his ear to the ground on Colorado in anticipation. I've been more focused on getting everything kind of designed out and ready. But yeah, from what I understand, they're improving their ADU laws, so it's going to make it easier for the state to install.
Now, your homes, will they always be built in a factory the way you're designing this and just being shipped, or can this actually be brought on site? Let's say there's 1,000 unit, subdivision. Would you just still do it in a factory, or could you take one of these units on site and put it in, a tent-like facility so they could just build them and set them out?
Yeah, I mean, it opens up a couple of thoughts from my side. I mean, similar to what I just mentioned. I mean, for 1,000 unit development, my aspiration is that we are setting up a factory there, building the printers in situ, and then printing and delivering and installing to that 1,000 unit delivery development. But the benefit of it being in a factory is that we're not going to get slowed down by wind, snow, any sort of environmental conditions that are going to slow us down. We have slightly more quality control. So I think it's always going to be in factory. We see pop-up factories as being the solution for those sorts of situations where we can build the printing system very quickly. So yeah, that's the ultimate plan.
It's always sunny in 70 in a factory, man.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Always. And that's where we want to stay.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. All right. So quickly then, who's your customer? Is it single family homeowners? Is it developers? Is there a program for either or is it still just you're feeling your way through this? And how much of this product has left your warehouses and is actually being used currently?
So I think we've seen I'm approaching it from a very cerebral place of it's a new way of building. It's a new way to if somebody needs to build a new home office, like whatever they're trying to build, then it's a solution for that. It's a new approach to building, which means that no real customer is excluded from something that is faster, easier, and has less environmental impact to build. So no one's excluded. But right now, I feel like we've seen a lot of interest from home buyers that want to add, backyard structures to their homes. They want to add ADUs.
Right.
We're seeing a lot of interest from, which we didn't necessarily predict, from like glamping companies that have these remote glamping locations where they want to have like a cool unit to add to their menu of options. So we've also got government interest for locally and nationally for quick solutions for affordable housing. So there's a lot of different customers that we have out there. So no one's necessarily alienated. That configurator we kind of design more for the homeowner, but we have pages on our site for the different markets of whether it's government contracts or B2B or others.
Is there anything that I left out that you want to make sure we tell everybody, and then we'll go to a couple quick comments and wrap it up?
No, I feel this has been pretty thorough. I mean, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. We are kind of tackling this from a very unique kind of standpoint, but we're working our way through it. We're very close to having our ICC certification completed, which then means that all of the units that we can produce we can start moving more to single family home. Part of what we're raising money for right now, so we did our seed raise last year, which we completed at just over 4 million. We're trying to raise another 5 this year, and that's going to go towards R&D for future development. So we have plans and aspirations and engineering to be able to go to multi floor modules as well. So they're all things that we have in the pipeline and what we're planning to do, as well as our move to Colorado and beyond that. So there's lots going on.
And there's a funder that was just running across the bottom in the ticker. You can see it right there, funder.com, Azure, wefunder.com, Azure. So interested in investing, there's a place for you to go invest. All right. So we have we got Shannon Thomas Trucking here. She says, wow, that's fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. She did ask a question. How is the shipping on these done? And I see Gene Edelman, who is your other partner, is answered that. He said, and I will put it up, and you can correct him if he's wrong. I'll let you guys spat live publicly. Just kidding. Timing from purchase to delivery can be as short as 1 to 2 weeks for backyard studios and 4 to 5 weeks for units with bathrooms and kitchens. What's the lead time on the bathrooms and kitchens? Just getting the product in, probably?
Yeah, there's more obviously technical aspects involved, plumbing, electrical, and getting those modules in. So just a bit more of a lead time. But in terms of shipping, I mean, the tiny homes, because you saw from that video, can just be towed with a truck with a ball hitch.
Sure.
They can carry a 12,000 pound load, and then for our other modules, they go on the back of a flatbed truck. We can fit like 3 onto a 40 or a 50-foot flatbed when we're doing the smaller studios, and then they just get forklifted off or craned off at the other end.
Love it. Shannon also asked, talk about how it is tested, how they have been tested in certain weather conditions. And we touched on this a little bit during the show here, but I mean, you have them in all different weather climates at the moment, correct? And they're testing well?
Yeah. And we're, as I said, finalizing our ICC certification now. So we've designed them, engineered them for seismic, for high winds, and for decent snow loads. I mean, the large part of our engineering has been to kind of equate that we can serve 95% of the country. So we design up to 150 mile an hour winds and up to 60 pounds per square foot snow load. So it means that our default version is already capable of delivering to 95% of the country.
Right. Awesome. We have a LinkedIn user here, Trey Shelton, 4A Constructs. He has to change his settings in LinkedIn so it shows up here. Do you have robot setting and finishing housing on site? And if you don't know 4A Construct, you should, because they can help you with your growth and expansion, because they provide skilled offsite labor in the field and sets and in the factory. So just as an FYI. But again, do you have robot setting and finishing houses on site?
Right now, it's just purely in our factory. So the two locations that we'll have will be LA and Colorado. But as I said, beyond that, we want to be able to be more mobile so that we can have pop-up factories appear in different locations, which will mean that, there'll be a movement of staff and robots across the country and beyond.
Love it. Love it. Well, there's still a lot of manual labor too. You got to put those walls in, you got to deliver them, you got to put them on foundations, and somebody has to connect the darn things to utilities.
Exactly.
So, hey, listen, Ross, thank you so much for taking a few moments and being on our show today. Really appreciate what you're doing, not only to help affordability in housing, but I mean, come on, man. 150,000 plastic bottles saved or reused per home. That's incredible. So thank you.
It's only a dent as well. So there needs to be a bigger change, but we're making a dent into what's a large pile of plastic so far.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a pretty good sized dent in my opinion. I mean, I could imagine how many grocery bags full of or garbage bags full that it would take to put 150,000 bottles in. So
exactly.
Ross, stay right there. I'll come to you after the show. Everybody else out there, guess what? We're only halfway through the week. That's right. You still got 2.5 days to build it better. Ross McGuire is a hard one to keep up with. I'd like to see how you're going to figure out how to save the other millions and millions of plastic bottles that are in the landfill. Let us know if you enjoyed this show today. Reach out to Ross and make sure to invest if you're interested in investing in the company. Ross, I'll be right back to you. And again, thanks to these sponsors as well. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.